Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Walberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can grow your authority and convert with ease. Today's tip is stop fumbling around in the dark looking for guest stories. One of the best ways for your podcast to stand out is for you to have an amazing interview full of surprising and exciting stories from your guests. You know, the kind of stories that Jimmy Kimmel comes up with, or Seth, or the other Jimmy. You know, they always seem to know how to ask just the thing to trigger a star into telling the most interesting stories. Well, here's a little insider tip. They're not pulling those things out of their butt. They have a producer, and the producer's role is to collect those stories. And then that producer goes and gives the host a prompt. The host shares the prompt, and the celebrity knows it's time to trot out that amazing story that we all know was prearranged, but it looks so organic, doesn't it? Sorry to ruin the magic, people, but it's not magic. It's just producing. So how can your podcast benefit from this tip? Simply make sure you pre-interview your guests and collect those stories. Now, if you have a production assistant or a VA who's doing a pre-interview for you, then they can ask all kinds of probing questions looking for interesting stories that you can tee up in your interview. They'll provide you with those notes. Then you let the guests know that as a host, you may or may not ask about this specific thing. So everybody's in the know, but it still feels like an organic conversation. Now, I was reminded about this tip and this tool when I was listening to Hidden Brain. It's a podcast, really well produced, super interesting, but the host, Shankar Verdanam, always cues the guest to share a very specific story. And he might say something like, I understand you had X, Y, and Z experience. Can you share that with us? Or he might say something like, this really came to pass, or this became clear to you when you were standing on the dock on Lake Michigan in 1970. Tell us what happened. Get it? He's telling the guest and everyone else, this is what we arranged in advance. Now's the time for you to tell that story. And that's how easy it is. The guest sends those answers back to you in your pre-interview so you can decide which are the most interesting stories. Now, if you don't have a producer, you can also do this in a questionnaire. I was recently helping one of our clients better prepare for their interviews by creating a questionnaire. And in this questionnaire, there are multiple questions that elicit specific details of a story. You want to get those details so that when you ask the question, whether you ask it the way Seth does or Shankar Verdanam does, you can make sure that the guest is reminded of the story that they shared and they go ahead and share that specific story. So lots of different ways to get it done. Maybe a pre-interview or possibly a questionnaire. Doesn't have to be really, really long either, just a few questions. There's no excuses now for you not being prepared and being able to set your guest up to shine with amazing, interesting stories so that your listener is always captivated and keeps coming back for more. But you'll never get that story if you don't ask. And I hope that's just the tip you need. Do you need help getting more from your guests? Let me share my over 30 years of broadcast experience with you. If you've got 15 minutes, I've got ways to improve your podcast. Book your free 15-minute coaching call with me right now by using the link in the show notes or by going to podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Walberg. See ya!